Ta-da! Well, holy moly, it's backwards. You can't even read it. Why did that happen? It wasn't like that in the regular camera app in Windows. Well, all right, so here's the deal. I'm sorry, I'm eating Halloween candy. We don't get trick-or-treaters anyway. Here we have Marvel United X-Men. This came in the mail today. I am raring to check it out. I'm a big fan of X-Men. Have been for years. In the back here we have Xavier solo mode. So, the point here is, it says, Marvel United may also be played by a single player. In this special mode, you act as Xavier, coordinating the efforts of multiple heroes at once. The solo mode uses all the same rules as the regular game with the following exceptions. Special setup. Well, we'll probably get into that here in a minute when I'm actually setting it up. But, so you get the idea. So what's happening here, and they also suggest to use Sabretooth as your first villain. If you're a new player, we suggest you use Sabretooth as your villain, who has a special setup instruction here. But, so, I have Professor Xavier out, and I have chosen Storm, Cyclops, and Wolverine. So Professor Xavier is happening in the background here. He is in his mind acting as these people. He's controlling these people out in the world, wherever they go. So that's how this is supposed to go. And all it is really I'm playing 3 characters, right? So we'll keep them over here for now on their respective decks. Here we have Sabretooth. Doot. Heck yeah, I'm going to keep him right there. Alright, let me get the... Alright, special setup. Assign the hunted token, which is this right here, to the starting hero. They are the hunted hero. I haven't chosen my hero yet. Heroes, starting tokens. Each one gets 2 of those. And... Oh, of course. I just dropped a few. That's alright. It's not really much of a place for them to go. Oh, I've got my painting toolbox down here, but it's all closed up under my drawers. Yeah, I don't see any more. I got 2. I've got sculpting tools, and I've got a piggy bank. It's got coins in it. All right, so I just thought you should know that. All right, and I found my 2 tokens that I dropped. I'm all right. Very good. All right, excellent. I'm gonna set this down so we're gonna know what that was. With the Professor Xavier version, or the mode, the solo mode, we're playing as 3 heroes. So the 3 hero tier of Sabretooth has 7 health. So you've got 7 health here. I've already counted them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Oops. Okay, so here's this. I set him right there. We know what that stuff says under there. He has this on him. He has this many health. This is right. I just put it in the wrong damn spot. Go right here. All right. Mm-hmm. All right. These go in a random order. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get What was the motion? I'm going to get this motion started. Right? Now I'm going to look away. And then just do like a random time. Ready? 1, a 2, a 3. Crunch. That, and that. Which I think I need to flip them actually. I just put them upside down, but they'll be in that order. Zoop, zoop, zoop. All right, good. Nobody's perfect. Everyone gets fucking old. Know what I'm saying? This is not made for kids, by the way. However, this game is for ages 14 and up, so you really could play it with a 14, 15, 16, or 17-year-old. But I'm 41 years old. I don't have no kids. So we'll keep that in mind if ever it comes up or whatever. All right. And we are supposed to pick 6 out of these 8 locations. All right. So, yeah, I don't know. Let's, I could shuffle them like so. Right? Should I shuffle them like this? All right. Can you see me? I think you can. I don't know. I can't see the screen over here where the camera is. Can't we do something like this? Give it a good mix. About like that, right? Okay, and then we go 1. It's going to need to come out here. 2. It will be 6 of them. 3. I'm going the wrong direction, aren't I? Yeah, it's supposed to go clockwise, man. All right, get these out of the way. Somebody come pick up your kid. Lost in aisle 3. Some retard parent, come pick up your kid. He's lost in aisle 3, please. Just kidding. All right, so there's that. I'm just kidding. I think we don't have it hard enough. I'm like, well, ain't my fucking choice. Whose fucking fault is that? That's what I say. But I mean, really, you can't blame me for your pregnancy. In there. This here. Okay. There we go, motherfuckers. Yeah. And then these are the ones we didn't get. We didn't do Asteroid M, which looks pretty sweet. And we didn't do Weapon 8X Facility. Oh, man. Another time. That is tragic. I love Weapon X stuff. I got just about all the bells and whistles for this. I even splurged extra to get the playmat, which has not been shipped yet. And I bought the Spider-Man expansion for the other game, the other Marvel United game that came first. So I can recreate the Deadpool X-Force crossover with Spider-Man to defeat Juggernaut. That's what I was after. And I love all the X-Force stuff. Deadpool and Cable have been my favorite X-Men characters for friggin' ever. Because X-Force and New Mutants are who I really loved. Cannonball is one of my favorites. Human Cannonball. Sunspot was friggin' awesome. I remember Warlock from the New Mutants comics, but I don't know. I haven't really seen anything of him yet in the movie. But maybe that's going to be in the sequel. Who knows? All right. So we got everything set up. Oh no, not quite. I have to put tokens on these, which I counted out these ones. So they will be, there's going to be some extra, but it'll be the amount that there would have been on all 8 cards. So we'll keep them guys there. But the cool thing is I can just pick up a handful of those, and they all work just where I want them because it's they're all the same token. It's just something different on the back of it. So this is setup, and I wanted to show you the chance because where we start, it's supposed to be a random 1 out of 6. So what I'm going to do is roll a d6. You're going to see me roll the d6. But I wanted to pick the random cards too, shuffle them. So you could see me do that. We're almost there. On that. Okay. Good. Then, got these threat tokens, right? Or fucking whatever tokens they are. KO tokens. I don't know. I'll read it here in a second. I'll tell you what they are. And doink. All right. Good. Need to shuffle the threat cards, right? All right. I'm gonna go back to the beginning. Mission guide in the middle. 3 mission cards. Not Cerebro, right? Good. Build dashboard. Special setup. Started that. Randomly picked 6 locations. Did that. Filled it with civilian or thug tokens. Got it. Shuffle the villain's threat cards and place 1 face up on the slot at the bottom of each location. Okay. So here is Sabretooth's threat deck. Not very big. Just what, like 8 cards or whatever, or 6 cards. Who knows? All right. So fair enough. Now we're going to start from here again. Right? No, this way. Clockwise. Dummy. Whoop. 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 Boom. Okay. Shuffle the villain's threat cards and place 1 face up on the slot at the bottom of each location, covering the end of turn effect. Adding a threat token to the slots next to them. Some threat cards contain henchmen, characters in the service of the villain. Each of their cards indicate the number of health tokens that should be placed on them. Some henchmen indicate a number of health tokens based on the number of heroes in the game. However, it looks to me like Sabretooth does not have any henchmen. And that's probably why they say we should do this guy first. It won't be that hard then. Okay. Place all remaining tokens separated into pools within reach of all players. It's right here. You guys can reach that, right? There's some back here too. Take the villain's master plan deck, shuffle it, and place it face down next to a random location. Then place the villain's game piece in that location. Okay. So this is where I want my D6. Right? His master plan deck is here. Gotta shuffle it. What is it? Shuffle the villain's threat cards and place one. No, that's something else. Take the villain's master plan deck, shuffle it, and place it face down next to a random location. Face down next to a random location. Then place the villain's game piece on that location. All right. So shuffle it. Ready? We're gonna shuffle. I want to not see this. Whatever. Good? Okay. Face down next to a random location. We'll call this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ready? Roll this. 5. So that's this one is where he starts. He's going to go there. And this says to place his deck next to that location. I don't know if I want to put his deck there or not. I think I want to keep it over here. I think he'll be fine. No, we want to know where he came in at, right? I guess, yeah. All right, so leave that there. Okay. Each player chooses a hero and places their game piece on the location opposite the villain. I got all these guys. Come on here. All right, good. Each player chooses a hero, places their game piece on the location opposite the villain. Then each player shuffles their corresponding hero decks and places it face down next to them, wherever they will be. Well, I'm going to keep that there. Okay. All right. So we're going to shuffle all those. We're going to keep them right there. Some heroes like Wolverine have cards that read starting hand on their backs. Make sure those cards are placed on the top of the deck. Yes, and I already went through all these, and Wolverine is the only one out of all 4 of those that has a starting hand card, and it's only one. So that has to go first when you start the game with that character. It has to be in there. All right, so yes, each player draws 3 cards from the top of their deck into their hand. The game is now ready to start with the first villain turn. However, Xavier solo mode is different. During setup, draw 5 cards into your hand instead of 3. All right, I'm going to go back to these so you hear them. But that's where I come over, because that's one thing that I know of that's that makes it jump, that makes me know that it is. I don't know. Never mind. Whatever. So we're going to shuffle these. Ready? You can watch me do it. Ready? Zoop, 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 zoop. Don't mind me, everybody. I'm not your professional way. I'm just an independent artist that got stiffed by the industry. So I just be whatever the fuck I want. Oh, sorry. This is not a paid advertisement. It's really just the fuck me. All right, here we go. Good. We'll keep that starting hand card to the side. The rest of them do not have that. Okay. So we're going to shuffle these. And starting hand goes on top. Doink. We shuffle. Cyclope. So there is a use for the minis. I had the assumption for so long there wasn't, and it doesn't seem like it. But they're X-Men. They're kind of all over the place wherever they are anyway. So it's really just one whole location that they'd be around, right? So, I didn't read to you what these locations are that we have here. Are you ready? That's coming up in the instructions. Is why I haven't, because there's a time when it says all players should go around the locations and familiarize yourself. So that's when I was going to go through it with you. But I can put these tokens back with the other civilian and thug tokens. Good. We're gonna need a 1 and 4 at some point too, I think. Wasn't I? I don't remember now. What I would need that for, but I swear I remember needing one of those. All right, so back to what was I doing? I shuffled. We need 5 cards from each, right? So then I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it goes right back like so. That is Storm's hand. I kind of want to keep these in. I can keep these over here because I can just slide them off the table then. Right? Okay, we get Wolverine's starting hand card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. That comes over here. Those can slide over. Clovey, the dwarf. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Also, I was looking at the miniatures earlier. I think probably general public is not going to know what I'm talking about, but anybody who knows me on Facebook, I made a post earlier about this and said something about Rogue. Rogue is not the character. It was Jean Grey. I was looking at the miniature, which is just blue. The whole thing is blue. So, I mean, when it's just a female character with hair, you know what I mean, in an X-Men uniform, it looks similar. Sorry, it does. So, all right. So, it's really just for differentiation, really, It's for authentication of source of DNA, right? Okay. All right. I mean, that's life. I'm not trying to get, too incredibly personal. All right. So, that was 5 cards on each. Here we are. Xavier solo mode. Special setup. Choose 3 heroes and shuffle their decks together to create your hero deck. The different card backs do not affect the game. The player can use this information to their advantage. If you wish to do so, you may only add challenges that support single-player games. During setup, draw 5 cards into your hand instead of 3, making sure any starting hand cards are in your hand. Oh. So then, alright, so I did not read that first, and what I should have done is... So this is just one hand. Draw 5 cards into your hand instead of 3, but it's 5 cards into one hand from the deck of all the player decks, right? Alright, so that's fine. I can just reshuffle the whole thing. But that's solo mode for you. And that'll make it easier for me, I don't mind that at all. Just kind of happens whenever it does. Alright. Make sure I've got all of these. So then do I have to have that Wolverine card on the top? I bet I do. Let me find it. There it is. Starting hand card. Yeah, those are all the backs. Alright. So There's a little bit of a difference between the cards, but all right. When they're all mixed up, it won't make that much of a difference anyway. Just not really be that decipherable. I could probably almost, that's, almost a full deck. I could probably do, what do you call this when you do like this? It's called shuffling, my friend. You do like so? Oops. To about half. Somewhere around there. Doesn't matter. If it is really random that you want, it won't even really matter that much. Just do like so. Woo! About there. Oh, I missed. Okay, and don't ruin your cards. So, you want to not ruin your cards. Be careful when they start to touch each other on the ends, because that's how you ruin your cards. But I've been working with cards for quite some time. Doesn't mean I won't ruin some cards just by playing with them. But all right, so anyway, and that goes on top. So we're gonna have 2 Wolverine actions right on top. But there. Then that's my hand. I put it right here, right? Boom. Okay, my hand is 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it does say we can do that. We can see what's on the backs, so you can know what's on the back. I don't know if I'm supposed to look at what's on there in the hands or not. All right. During setup, draw 5 cards into your hand instead of 3. I'll go over it from the top again, so we all know what had just happened. Choose 3 heroes and shuffle their decks together to create your hero deck. So that was the Cyclops deck, the Wolverine deck, and the Storm deck. All 3 of them shuffled together. The Wolverine starting hand card went on top, so it got picked first for my hand, and I have a hand of 5 cards. All right. If you wish to do so, you may only add challenges that support single-player games. So we have challenges here. I've never read the challenges, honestly. Let me see what we have. How do I know if it's for single players? Oh, I guess it would be the one that has 1 thingy? No, not necessarily. All right. Moderate challenge, hard challenge, or heroic challenge. So moderate challenge says setup. Each hero removes 1 that thing card from their hero deck. I'll tell you what that's called. Hang on. We're learning this with me. Heroic, attack, move, and wild. Heroic, attack, move, and wild are the green arrow, the star, the yellow star, the red punch, and these guys that I just pulled up and showed you. So I think that's move. It's either move or wild. Here I hold before you. Whoops, I think it's like this. No, it's like this. Move and wild. I don't know which one's which, but there they are. It's those 2. Move and wild. I want to say this is move and this is wild. Each hero removes 1 wild card from their hero deck. I got it. Each hero removes 1 wild card from their hero deck, and each hero removes 1 wild and 1 wild card from their deck. That's what's in there. Oh, and I see on the top it says 1 to 4, 1 to 4, 1 to 4 players. Right? So all 3 of those challenge cards are compatible with a single player game. Found it. All right. Back to the instructions. Instrucciones. Set the villain's health at 3 heroes level. I did that. Special rules. Well, I should probably read the regular rules first, and then do the special rules for solo mode. You can also do a super villain versus Xavier solo mode. You know, just Xavier versus the villain, but it's got special setup too. But don't be fooled, because you can play solo mode with the other characters as well. Let's see. All right. So I'm going to start with a few special rules just so I can get a taste of what's in here. First one says turns are resolved in the usual sequence, with you playing every hero turn. Each turn, you may play the card of any hero in your hand, even if it's the same hero as the last card played. You always benefit, as usual, from the symbols on the previously played card, but not from their special effect, even if it's the same hero. The hero whose card you played is considered the active hero that turn. Okay. Any effects that refers to another player refers to you. Any effect that refers to you refers to the specific hero in question, except when concerning your tokens or your hand of cards, which belong to the player. Action tokens in your possession can be used by any hero. Okay. This is not. It's not landing on anything inside me. I'm sorry. I have to go through the regular instructions first. So this might take some time because we've got a bit to read, right? We've got a bit to go through. A little bit to go through, right? So it might take a few hours. I'm going to read through the whole thing. Well, I'm going to skip super villain mode, of course. But we'll read up to additional rules probably. Because you got to know how to play first, and then you go to the solo mode modifications. All right. So you have to have a pretty firm understanding for the game in the first place, kind of. All right. So we left off here. Each player draws 3 cards from the top of their deck, which turned into 5 cards, and then ended up getting the whole thing shuffled together. All right. Important. All players should familiarize themselves with the text on the villain dashboard and all 6 threat cards, as they will inform the particulars of the game being played. Remember, these are the threat cards. These little cards that are on the bottom of here that came from Sabretooth. These are Sabretooth's threat cards. Villain dashboard and all 6 threat cards, as they will inform the particulars of the game being played. Right. All right. So, I'll start with the villain dashboard. One thing I see here is special rules. It says when the hunted hero is KO'd. Oh yeah, your first hero is going to get that hunted token. Don't forget that. When the hunted hero is KO'd, before activating BAM, give the hunted token to the next hero in play order. When a hero without the hunted token is KO'd, draw another master plan card and add it face down in the storyline. Master plan card. Master plan card here, and add it in the storyline. Where in the storyline? How do we add that in the storyline? Say it again. When the hunted hero is KO'd, before activating BAM, give the hunted token to the next hero in play order. When a hero without the hunted token is KO'd, draw another master plan card and add it face down in the storyline. I don't know where the storyline is. Alright, whatever. I also see, bam! Deal 2 damage to one hero in Sabretooth's location. This must be the hunted hero if they are in that location. Okay, so if wherever it lands, I read this a little while ago. When you pick a card, a master plan card, right? It's going to have instructions you need to read from top to bottom, left to right, right? So you start with this, then that, then these. Now, or I guess this isn't really so much left to right because the threat icon, where are you? You're over here. The threat icon is supposed to be wherever the villain is, right? And then these go on the locations surrounding it. So sometimes this thing up here, right here, it's Hunter Senses talking about the hunted or whatever. Sometimes it says move so many spaces. Do I have another one? Okay, here they are. Well, they just say 0. Okay. He might just move 0 spaces, right? Alright, so that's his thing. I'm going to shuffle this again so you can see it happen. It's been shuffled. Okay. Yeah, I could probably put them all right here. When I'm doing solo mode, I may as well. These are the master plan cards. This is my deck. And this is my hand. See what I just did right there? Of course you did it right in front of your face. Want to see me do it again? Just kidding. All right. All right. So next, okay, yeah, we're familiarizing ourselves, right? Okay, I'm gonna go through the text some more, and all 6 threat cards. We got to talk about it. All right. So we talked about the blam or the bam. Overflow. Overflow says if one or more civilian/thug tokens can't be added to a location, deal 1 damage to the hunted hero. And then the villainous plot says the heroes lose if the hunted token is given back to the starting hero. In a 2-hero game, they only lose when that happens a second time. But we're playing a 3-hero game, so it's the heroes lose if the hunted token is given back to the starting hero. So you have a different mechanism with every villain, I believe is what's going on here. It's all going to be different. It's going to be different threat cards. It's going to be a different dashboard, villain dashboard. So the whole storyline is going to be different. You'll be doing something different for whoever depend or themed upon whatever villain you're using there. All right, so we're going to move on with the threat cards. I will let you know what they say, and I'm going to move around clockwise, right? And don't worry, because when I actually start playing, I'm going to turn on this light here so we can see everything. But I'm keeping it off for now because it gets real hot real fast. So probably about 2 or 3 hours tops. I don't want it to be on that long. So while I'm reading all this stuff and setting up and we're learning, I'm going to keep it off for now. I'm sorry. I know it's easier to learn with bright lights so you can really understand what's in front of you, but you know, that's what happens with cheap electronics, you know? All right, so Killing Spree. I mean, don't get me wrong. I got it on Amazon.com, so it's not like incredibly cheap, but um, discard all civilians from this location. Deal 1 damage to 1 hero in both adjacent locations. Okay, discard all civilians from this location, which would be this guy here. That's a civilian. But you know, depending on what your chances are, you depends on what you know, whatever that says is what happens there. And if it was this one that landed on, there aren't any civilians, so it wouldn't wipe anything away, right? But this it will, because this one does have that. Discard all civilians from this location. Deal 1 damage to 1 hero in both adjacent locations. I think that means this one and that one, right? Because that's the one that it's on. That would be its adjacent location. All right. Over here, see, all of these have space for 3 heroic tokens. Yes, those are heroic tokens. Okay. Over here. If the hunted hero ends their turn in this location, they take 1 damage. That was called No Place to Hide. This one over here is called Killing Spree. I'm sorry. This one is called No Place to Hide. If the hunted hero ends their turn in this location, they take 1 damage. No Place to Hide over here as well. If the hunted hero ends their turn in this location, they take 1 damage. Killing Spree. Discard all civilians from this location. Deal 1 damage to 1 hero in both adjacent locations. This one is No Place to Hide. Yeah, that's that one. If the hunted hero ends their turn in this location, they take 1 damage. I read it upside down. It's just a little bit slower. All right. So there, we have familiarized ourselves. I'll even tell you what these, what are those called? Go back through. I'll tell you. Those are mission cards. Okay, I'll even tell you what these mission cards say. They say clear threats. That's 4 threats. This one says, oh, okay, up here it says villain acts after every 2 hero cards. So when you clear 4 threats, it will unlock that, and the villain will act after every 2 hero cards. When you've rescued that many civilians, it will unlock, and the villain is now vulnerable to damage. I don't know what that means. There's probably something where they're invulnerable or whatever. All right, so and then defeat thugs. So you defeat so many thugs, and it unlocks, and you it says each hero immediately draws 1 card. So immediately draw 1 card. All right, back over here. So we've read those. Very good. All right. Winning and losing. Heroes win if they defeat the villain. So, to be able to damage the villain, heroes must first accomplish at least 2 of the 3 available missions. 2 of the 3 available missions. Okay. To be able to damage the villain, heroes must first accomplish at least 2 of the 3 available missions. Or, if you unlock this first or this one in particular, it does say villain is now vulnerable to damage. So, or if you unlock these 2, I guess, or 2 of these, if that's the last one. Wow, bonus! Alright. Heroes lose if the villain completes their master plan. This happens if any of these conditions are met. The villain achieves the conditions of the villainous plot stated in their dashboard, if they have one. Okay. Villain achieves the conditions of the villainous plot stated in their dashboard. Villainous plot is right here. That was the last one I read, which was the heroes lose if the hunted token is given back to the starting hero. So that's one way to lose. The villain must draw a master plan card, but their deck is empty. So, if Sabretooth needs to draw one of his master plan cards and the deck is empty, then the heroes lose. And any hero starts their turn with no cards both in their deck and in their hand. So, well, that's going to be me. I have one deck, so it's going to be quite a while before that happens, but no cards both in their deck and in their hand. So I've got to be totally blow through that whole deck, all 3 decks, all 3 villain decks, and then I will lose. All right. Villain turn. The game always starts with the villain taking their turn. Draw the top card from the master plan deck and place it face up on the table. Okay, this is when we're starting to play, right? So this is when we're turning cards. We're getting there. This is where we're turning cards, right? This is Sabretooth's master plan deck. This is his first turn, right? He starts. Villains always start. The game always starts with the villain taking their turn. Draw the top card from the master plan deck and place it face up, top card, master plan deck, face up on the table. This is the start of the storyline that will guide the entire game. Each master plan card played will contain different elements that must be executed in order, from top to bottom, one after the other. Each master plan, top to bottom, in order. Okay, each master plan card played will contain different elements that must be executed in order, from top to bottom, one after the other. Okay, and then it says move villain. Move the villain clockwise. Can you see that? You might not be able to see that. Here we are. Here it says move villain. Move the villain clockwise. It's kind of hard for me to read like that. That's not just upside down. It's like sideways upward. So it's away from me. So it's kind of a weird thought. But yeah, I'm not going to do anything with that. We'll just toss that down here for now. That's been turned up. See if I can deal with this so you can actually see what's happening. Move the villain clockwise unless otherwise indicated. The number of locations equal to the number shown on the card. If there is a threat card with the threat symbol in the location where the villain ends their movement, even if the movement was 0, immediately resolve the effect described on that threat card. Yeah, see, I'm not processing when it's like that. There's too much processing just to be able to say what it is there and to not, and I don't process what it means. All right, so if there's a threat card with the threat symbol in the location where the villain ends their movement, even if the movement was 0, immediately resolve the effect described on that threat card. Okay, immediately resolve. When it lands on one that has a threat symbol, that's Killing Spree has a threat symbol. And that's only if he ends his movement there where that threat symbol is. Even if the movement was 0, which he does have 0 movements. That's the only kind of movements he has. Otherwise, it just says a bunch of shit. Oh, no, it does say move. It does say move. It's just to the next one, though, is what it is. All right, so remember that. If he lands, either direction he goes, he's going to land on one. Immediately resolve the effect described on that threat card, which would be that. And then it's going to clear them off. Those go. Okay, so it makes it like they're being rescued. Right? Discard all civilians from this location. Deal 1 damage to 1 hero in both adjacent locations, here and there. So it's like the jet goes to go and save a civilian, and you can rescue him, put him there. Right? All right. So when we get past that, it says it gives an example of Mystique. So that's where you can probably read this in the PDF. PDF is you can just go to the website. I don't know if you need the QR code to get to it or not, but I don't believe I had to log in to be able to. I didn't have to create an account or anything to get the PDF of this. Mystique moves 2 locations clockwise, triggering the threat effect at her destination. So she goes 1, 2, bam, lands on that. Has the threat. It is a henchman called Destiny, isn't it? No, it is just called Destiny. It says, move Senator Kelly 1 location counterclockwise. Heroes can prevent this by drawing another master plan card and adding it face down in the storyline. Right. So your discard pile is the storyline. Well, you've got a face up and a face down. Face down is burnt. Face up is active right now. So I'll keep that there. That'll be face up, and then burnt will go here. Okay, next page. So I turn that over, and I've got to read what it says on there, right? Because this is his turn. There's no, well, he says move to the next counterclockwise location with any heroes. Oh, okay. So he's coming right to the heroes then. Bam, here he is. Move to the next counterclockwise. Clockwise is this way. Counterclockwise is this way. The next counterclockwise location with any heroes, which is here. Bam. Move to this location. Here it comes. Here, why don't I make this a little bit more interesting? We'll do these guys here so you can see this. Right? A little bit easier to see. And then, whoop, pow! Here he is right here. Can you see that? I just kind of want to make it so you can see who he is. I'm going to check the screen real quick. Oh, whatever. It's the red one. You can't even really see it that well anyway when it's that far away. But okay. All right, so did that, and what this says, no place to hide. If the hunted hero, the first hero to go, which is going to be Wolverine, is the hunted hero, right? What do I do with that? Do I put him on that? He's the hunted hero. No, I'll put it behind him. So you know which one. It's that one right there. Can you see that? Barely. Over the back of that. Okay. All right, well, anyway. We'll move on. If the hunted hero ends their turn in this location, they take 1 damage. Okay. But Wolverine hasn't gone yet. He's about to go first, so we'll find out then what happens there. All right, activate BAM. There is no BAM to activate, but if there was a BAM on the threat card, it would have this BAM logo. Yeah, logo. BAM! You see? It says BAM. Activate BAM. That's what it says. If you see one of those, you activate BAM, but I don't see any BAMs. I'll read it, though. We'll see what it says. Activate BAM. Oh, yes. No, it's this. It's your master plan card that has the BAM on it, right? So I just moved. Then I activate BAM, whatever BAM is. We'll read it. Activate BAM. If the card shows this symbol, activate the BAM effect, detailed on the villain dashboard. BAM! Where was I? On the villain dashboard. And then any BAM effects shown on threat cards. Starting with the threat card in the villain's location and proceeding clockwise. So if there was any, and there are not any, only on those cards does that come up. Then I have to do what this says. That's with Sabretooth anyway. These effects complicate the hero's lives in all sorts of different ways, often dealing damage to them. See hero damage on page 10. Okay, so we've heard the word damage before. I'm going to hang on to that. I'll put that in my back pocket, and we'll know that when we get there. So it's circling BAM on the threat cards and BAM on the villain dashboard. Special effect. Here, let me have a seat. I'm going to have a seat right here with you. Let me put this right here. Have a candy pumpkin. They're gummies. Sit that on the ground right there next to me. Here I am. There. Now, I can be a little bit more level, I guess. Whatever. All right. So next, it says metamorph. What is that? It is a special effect. Okay. Special effect. Resolve any special effects described on the master plan card, if possible. But this master plan card does not describe any special effects. It just tells you how to move. And then there's a BAM. And then there's the stuff at the bottom. Right? And metamorph is just an effect that's on their example card. Add thugs, civilians. So that's the bottom part. Add the indicated number of thug and or civilian tokens to the villain's location and those around it. The central location on the card represents where the villain is, with the two adjacent locations to either side. Oh, okay. Both adjacent locations. Adjacent is right next to. I'm sorry, I was mistaken. So that wasn't deal 1 damage to one hero in both adjacent locations here and here. That was these two, both adjacent locations, but not here. Yes. I'm sorry if I didn't know it all that right in the first place. It's kind of what role-playing games are like. But, you get through one book. That's a lot of effort. And that's all you're left with is what you know in that book. Right? All right, never mind. I'm going to keep going with this. Okay, add the indicated number of thug and or civilian tokens to the villain's location and those around it. The central location on the card represents where the villain is, with the two adjacent locations to either side. Go in clockwise order adding the tokens to the locations. At each location, first place the required thug tokens, then the required civilian tokens. Well, they're the same tokens anyway. At each location, if there are not enough empty slots available, an overflow effect is generated. Okay. If there are not enough empty slots available, an overflow effect is generated. So you add thugs and who's and what's. Okay. So I'll show you what this says. We have a threat right here and now where he is. We have 2 thugs on this side, 2 thugs on this side, right? So set that down. Actually, why don't I put that here so you can read it maybe? And then the burnt cards will go next to it there. And then my burnt cards and my active cards will go here for you to see. I don't know what the D4 was for. I don't remember. Okay, so add the shit. Got 2 thugs here. Boom, boom. 2 thugs here. Boom, boom. A boom, 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 boom. All right, I'm done eating my candy. I'm sorry if that's annoying to you. So, overflow is the next thing I'm going to read about. Aren't they? They haven't taken their turn yet. I think that's probably what the D4 was for. So I'm going to give them a number. Doesn't quite work out, but I don't have a D3, so. All right, so overflow. Whenever one or more thug/civilian tokens can't be added to a location, a single overflow effect is triggered at that location. Check the effect's description on the villain dashboard and resolve any triggered overflows in clockwise order. Oh, I didn't activate the BAM before I did the thugs. I'm sorry. All right, so let's activate the BAM. Deal 2 damage to 1 hero in Sabretooth's location. This must be the hunted hero if they are in that location. All right. Hero healths. You know it? I didn't put any hero healths out, and I don't recall it telling me to do that. No, that's not what I thought it was. That's Cerberus, and it's I'll use Cerbero or whatever. Cerebro, boop. And Magneto is right underneath that, and those are all the villains. You also have Mystique over here because she is purple and can be hero or villain, and these are her hero cards. She has a different set of hero cards than her set of villain cards. But she also has a villain dashboard, yada yada. Deadpool will be like that as well. Okay. Threat cards. That's where. Yeah, there's healths there. You got healths there. Which health does your hero get? Hero cards. I don't see healths for heroes. Alright, each player chooses a hero and places their game piece on the location opposite the villain. Then each player shuffles their corresponding hero decks and places it face down next to them. Some heroes like Wolverine, yada yada. Each player draws 3 cards from the top of their deck. The game is now ready to start. Winning and losing. Villain turn. Alright, I haven't gotten to the hero health yet, apparently. So that's probably why it made me jump to hero damage on page, I think it was 10. Hero damage. Alright, we'll read this on page 10. Hero damage. Heroes usually take damage when attacked by the villain or henchman due to activated BAM effects. For each damage a hero takes, they must discard 1 card from their hand, placing it at the bottom of their deck. Okay, so 1 damage. You take 1 card from your hand and place it at the bottom of your deck. KO. If a hero discards the last card from their hand, they are immediately KO'd. Lay down that hero's game piece to indicate that it must be ignored by all game effects, both negative and positive. So I may have to lay down the game piece carefully. Then immediately resolve the BAM effect listed on the villain dashboard, but not those on any henchman threat cards. This could cause another hero to be KO'd, creating a chain reaction. If multiple heroes are KO'd at the same time, the villain BAM effect is resolved once for each KO'd hero. At the start of a KO'd hero's next turn, their piece is placed back upright. During the draw cards step, the player draws up to 4 cards from their deck. Okay, so in a regular game, your hand would consist of 3 cards, right? And then after you KO, when you come back, you restart or respawn or whatever, your token will be laying flat and you can stand it back up and you'll have 4 cards in your hand instead of 3. But we're playing a 5-card hand solo game. So this might be different in the special instructions in the solo mode, but that's what it's like in a regular game. Water break, sorry. Don't worry, I kept it away from the instructions. All right. Note, if a hero plays their last card during their turn, they get to perform their full turn before being KO'd. Okay. Otherwise, I see challenges here, and I see special mission, use Cerebro here. But that's not about hero health. So I guess hero health is only in your deck. You don't use these health thingies for that? Well, you would use those for henchmen, but Sabretooth doesn't have any. All right. So, yeah, it's really a whole team, 1 deck. So I can only KO once as Xavier, right? So that's where it gets kind of steep for a single player game, but it will make sense enough, just enough. It does. Do it a couple times and it'll be like second nature, because it makes sense. That's what Xavier's power was like. All right. Hero turn. All right, this is moving on from the overflow. We were talking about overflow. Hero turn. Once the master plan card is fully resolved, it's time for the heroes to act. All right, so before I do that, let me finish with this BAM. Deal 2 damage to 1 hero in Sabretooth's location. And it's got to be the, well, it says the haunted. Does that mean I have to burn the starting hand card? I guess so, because it's just the starting hand, right? Or it's just something random, right? For each damage a hero takes, they must discard 1 card from their hand. You choose which one, is what it is. Placing it at the bottom of your deck. Bottom of your deck. Okay. If a hero discards the last card from their hand, they are immediately KO'd. So, your hand is really your health, right? And since I have 3 guys, I've got 5 health. Well, it's Xavier's health is what it is. His health added. All right. So, we burn 1 card, and I get to choose which one it is. Before we go, all right, let me read my cards. And for transparency, I will tell you what I have here on my cards. The Wolverine starting hand card says healing factor. There you are. I'll read it to you. That's what it looks like. Healing factor. As long as this card is face up in the storyline, if you have less than 3 cards in hand at the end of a villain turn, you may draw 1 card. If you have less than 3 cards in hand at the end of a villain turn, you may draw 1 card. Has to be face up in the storyline. Which means it's a little late for this. So, you see, in the storyline, you've got these, right? It's got icons there. You've got this little icon there. That's the heroic icon, right? Some of them have... I think those are supposed to be the wild icons. I think it's backwards, because if you read it in order that it shows in the pictures, it shows that that thing there is the wild icon, and this one here, or no, that one is the move icon, and this one is the wild icon, is what it says in there. It says this is move. I'm like, this should be move. It's got an arrow on it. But they're like wild. Move, wild. I think that's backwards. That looks wild. That looks like move. I think it just is backwards in the directions for those two. I think that's what that is. So, for the remainder of the game, I am going to play as though that is move. It's gotta be, right? Isn't it on here? Yeah, it is move. Yeah, they were just backwards in order in there. Yeah, this is move. The green arrow is move. The other thing is wild. I skimmed forward just a little bit so I could figure that out for you. But, so anyway, that healing factor card actually has instructions on it. That was the starting hand card. Otherwise, we got this one that just goes wild, wild. It's a wild, wild card. Wild, wild card, right? And when it's a wild card, it won't be the moderate challenge. It would be the hard challenge or the heroic challenge, because you have to have a wild card. Each hero removes one wild card from their hero deck. That's how you get rid of that. Whatever that is. Whatever. I don't know. We'll get to that part. We're getting there. I'm going to keep pushing through it, so I just keep pushing myself forward. Here's Cyclops here. Cyclops has a wild card. Storm has a wild card. And it says Adamantium Claws. Attack, attack. And then it moves. Okay? So there we are. And I have to choose one to throw out. Well, I've got a whole lot of Wolverine, right? I think I'm going to throw out the wild card anyway. What was that part? What do those do? I just read what those do. Okay. No, don't throw out the wild card. Because each wild token or whatever can be either a move, an attack, or a heroic action. Okay, we'll read that when we get there. But I want to keep that because that's 2 actions in 1 card. That's why I want to keep it. And I want to keep that because that's 3 actions in 1 card. She's got 1 action. He's got 1 action. He's got a healing factor with the heroic token. Right? So I think what I'm going to do... Wow, that's a whole lot of great stuff for Wolverine. And Cyclops doesn't really do much great. I mean, it's just 1 wild card. I want to get rid of that Cyclops card. That's what I want. And I put that on the bottom of my deck, right? So add back goes on the bottom of my deck. There. Boom. Then, that just finished. They're just finished executing this, right? That was the No. The BAM does 2 damage. Deal 2 damage to 1 hero in Sabretooth's location. This must be the hunted hero if they are in that location. But it's 2 damage from that. This is only, it says, if the hunted hero ends their turn in this location, they take 1 damage. But it hasn't been the hero's turn yet. So that's not the 1 damage thing. It's the 2 damage thing that I needed to finish up. So, wow, I hate to be, all one guy doing the work, but it's him that really does the most, you know what I mean? As long as this card is face up in the storyline, if you have less than 3 cards in hand at the end of a villain turn, you may draw 1 card. That's going to help me draw. And it's got a heroic token, which has specific actions that you can do. But I'll read that when we get there. So, I'm sorry, but I believe Storm is going to be the one that I get rid of because it's only 1 action that she does. He does more by drawing cards, and I kind of need that. Each of these is more than 1 action. So we're going to get rid of Storm as well. And now I'm down to 3 health already. So solo games probably go pretty quick. Maybe, unless you do good right in the first place. That's what I'm guessing anyway. I don't know for sure yet. All right. I need more candy in my face. And, of course, I'm going to read this to you with candy in my face. All right. So, that finishes everything from the villain's turn, right? We moved him from here to here. We activated Bam, which dealt 2 damage to the target, to the hunted hero, right? So I took 2 cards out of my hand, put them on the bottom of my deck. And I added 2 thugs to each adjacent location. He really kind of traps them in. Now, what was that threat icon? There is a threat icon there, but that's only if there is a threat icon here that it would activate, right? I think that's what that is. Yeah, only if it matches up does that activate. If there's a threat card with the threat symbol in the location where the villain ends their movement, immediately resolve the effect described on that threat card, but there's not one there. Yeah, so that would activate that threat icon. All right, so that's done. So I think then I can burn it, right? Then it's burnt. That's burnt. Well, our storyline needs to all be one consecutive story, right? So when I discard, does it all discard into one pile and then I have to separate it every game? When I take care of stuff? Probably. How do I know the difference between... I guess there's a difference. Right. No, not much. But there is a difference. Does it say that it's a villain card over here? Mystique, Master. Damn, well, I guess. Villain card and a hero card looks different anyway. So, you're going to know the difference when you look at them. Okay. So, now we're on hero turn. Hero turn. Once the master plan card is fully resolved, it's time for the heroes to act. Players collectively choose which hero will start the game. Or do I just leave that there? Do I just leave that there? And that's the storyline. You just keep piling them on top of each other. I think that's the way to do it. Because it didn't tell me to turn that face down. Players collectively choose which hero will start the game. Then they will take their turns in clockwise order until the end of the game. During their turn, players follow these steps in order. 1. Draw a card. 2. Play a card. 3. Resolve actions. 4. Location effect. So, well, that's what I wanted the D4 for. And I think what I'm going to do is I will index them in clockwise order. And Sabretooth, no, not Sabretooth. No, the fourth one, it'll be just the heroes. And the fourth one will be to do it in clockwise order. Right? Because it said the players can resolve which one goes first ahead of time, or you can go in clockwise order. So they're indexed in clockwise order, but I'm going to roll. So Storm is 1, Wolverine is 2, Cyclops is 3, and 4 will be to go in clockwise order. 3. That is Cyclops goes first. Okay. Then I guess which one goes next? I'll roll again. Same index. Of course I get the 4, and I don't know what the fuck that's for. So I guess I'll just go clockwise after that, right? So we go Cyclops, Storm, Wolverine. That's the way it's got to be. Okay. Cyclops, Storm, Wolverine. Is there a way that I cannot... Oh, no cards for those guys or nothing. All right. They're all mixed into my deck, and I cannot mess with my deck. All right. So then at least we know. And all right, Cyclops' turn. During their turn, players follow these steps in order. Or I guess it would be I'm the only player, right? During my turn. Yeah, that's got to be right. It's just me, then the villain. Well, the villain, then me. Then the villain, then me. But it's just one deck, and it's whatever character on the card pertains to that action is what happens. It's which character goes. All right, but the regular rules say, during their turn, players follow these steps in order. Draw a card, play a card, resolve actions, location effect. So, number 1, draw a card. The active player draws the top card from their hero deck into their hand. If their hero was KO'd, they draw up to 4 cards instead. There is no limit to the number of cards a player may have in their hand. If their deck runs out, the player simply doesn't draw a card. 2. Play a card. The active player chooses a hero card from their hand and adds it to the end of the storyline, to the right of the last card played. I got it. Your storyline. Well, I guess I've got to move this. I'm going to move this and I'm going to put the storyline up there. Let's go over here. Let's go there. These. Guess what I did? Knock them shits over. Suck my ass. Yeah. Don't do that. up there? There he goes. There. Then I can put the storyline here. Oh, you're not going to see it very well. What if I start it here? This is my craft table. I'm sorry, guys. Don't worry. I'm going to move that over. That over. This over. And this whole thing is going to move over. Just like that. Keep it going. There-ish. Right? All stays right there, just like that, just like that, just like that. Oh. Uh-oh. Yeah. There. That's enough space. All right. Can you see it? You can. And it's going to be backwards for you. I'm sorry, my friends. I'm sorry for you. I don't know why it does that. Fucking dumb, dude. All right. All right, so we draw the card. We play the card. Play a card says the active player chooses a hero card from their hand and adds it to the end of the storyline to the right of the last card played. Resolve actions is number 3. Look at the symbols at the bottom part of the hero card just played and at the bottom of the previous hero card in the storyline, even if they are separated by the master plan card. Each of these symbols corresponds to an action the hero can perform this turn in any order. Each of these symbols corresponds to an action the hero can perform this turn in any order. The first player in the game does not benefit from the actions of another hero's card, as there are no other hero cards in the storyline yet. Keep in mind that when heroes unite their efforts, they only benefit from the symbols at the top of the other hero's card, not from any special effects or extra symbols shown above that. Okay, so what it's talking about is, I'll show you in my hand. If I were to play this in the storyline, and then next, if this is the next hero card that I use, even if there is a villain card in between it, the first time a player goes, they don't get to use anything from before that. But when you play your second time, when your second hero plays their turn, they can use their own card fully, plus only the stuff in this ribbon from the card before it. So he will get to do, when I laid this, and this was already laid, you would get to do Adamantium Claws, which is attack, plus you can move forward one, plus you'll have 2 wilds over here to choose move, attack, or heroic action. So that's a lot of stuff to do. You know what I mean? But what else? What was I going to say? Oh, and it says only the stuff in the ribbon, not anything above it. So say if this one was played first and this one was played second, this guy can do these 2 actions and he can do this action, but he cannot do this action. Although this guy, when he played that card, he could do that and that. But he was the first person to play, so he couldn't use any other stuff from any other card, right? So that's the way that is. But these are what I'm left over with. I need to draw a card, right? Draw one card, which is a Cyclops card. There's transparency for the audience. It's a move card. This is a solo game, so we add that to my hand. Then I play a card. Which card do I want to play? Well, I certainly want the healing factor out there. It says, as long as this card is face up in the storyline. Well, here, hang on. Let me read what these other actions are for before I make a choice. Right? Okay, so before I make a choice on which card I'm going to play, we're going to go through all the rest of this instruction for the hero turn, and then we're going to get to how to move, how to attack, and what heroic actions are. All right. So you draw a card, number 1. You play a card, number 2. 3, you resolve actions. And 4, you do the location effect, right? So resolve actions. So look at the symbols. That's what we just read. Look at the symbols at the bottom part of the hero card that just played and at the bottom of the previous hero card in the storyline, even if they are separated by a master plan card. Each of these symbols corresponds to an action the hero can perform this turn, in any order. The first player in the game does not benefit from the actions of another hero's card, as there are no other hero cards in the storyline yet. Keep in mind that when heroes unite their efforts, they only benefit from the symbols at the bottom of the other hero's card, not from any special effects or extra symbols shown above that. So then it shows an example. All right, next page it says, the active player may perform the following actions once per symbol available to them in any order they like. Now this is still building on resolve actions, right? So it just said how you can use the one before. Now it's describing what the actions are. So the active player may perform the following actions once per symbol available to them in any order they like. Some of them have 2 symbols. In any order you like. Move the hero to an adjacent location in any direction. So it's not just the direction the arrow points. That just means you can move in either direction, either adjacent direction. Attack is you deal 1 damage to an enemy of the player's choice in the active hero's location. So you can do 1 damage. If I am Cyclops going, which it's really just me going as Xavier, but if I was Cyclops going, deal 1 damage to an enemy of the player's choice in the active hero's location. In this location, and here is Sabretooth. What do you know? He just came right the fuck to us and pinned us right in this location. Got us trapped in. He's waiting on our jets. That's kind of funny how that worked out. All right, so deal 1 damage to an enemy of the player's choice in the active hero's location. If attacking a thug, it is eliminated upon receiving 1 damage, unless a threat card in its location says otherwise. See Defeat Thugs on page 9 to learn what to do with defeated thugs. Defeat Thugs on page 9. It's just the next page. It says, thugs are always threatening to dominate locations, triggering the villain's overflow effect if the location can't hold anymore. See Overflow on page 6. We already read that. Whenever a thug is defeated, see Attack on page 8, which is what we were just reading. Take its token and place it on an empty slot of the Defeat Thug's mission card if possible. Otherwise, discard it. And Alright, so whenever the Thug is defeated, it only takes 1 damage to defeat them, and when they're defeated, you place them on the Defeat Thug's mission. So these missions are only for this core box. It's these missions plus the use Cerebro for Magneto. So that's just the core box. There are tons of expansions that have other missions and villains with different threats and yada yada. So, and different heroes. All right. So then, all right, we read the Defeat Thugs. All right, so that was the first bullet under deal 1 damage to an enemy of the player's choice under attack, right? And it was about thugs. The second bullet says henchman. If attacking a henchman on a threat card, remove 1 health token from the card for each damage dealt. Yes, so thugs themselves only take 1 damage, so they are their own health token, right? But henchmen will have this kind of health token like the villain does. And if you're attacking a henchman, or apparently a villain, remove 1 health token from the card for each damage dealt. See Clear Threats on page 9 to learn what to do with defeated henchmen. Clear Threats. The threat cards that the villain places on the locations covering their end of turn effect may have all sorts of different effects, from constant effects at that location or the entire game to effects triggered by a master plan's BAM. See Activate BAM on page 6. We already read that. To effects triggered by the villain's presence. See Move Villain on page 5. We've already read that too. So what it's talking about, these are threat tokens right here, these little purple skull jobbies. There's 1 on each location. Anytime you get a henchman, it will be on a threat card, and they will have the threat token right next to the henchman threat card, right? And that's when it is a henchman is when it will have this kind of health token. So when you do damage to a henchman, you take 1 health token off of it. But if you defeat the henchman, you take this threat token and you place it here on the Clear Threats card. Okay, third bullet point, and that is the last one for attack. Only after resolving 2 missions, heroes can attack the villain directly. So, if you resolve 2 missions, or if you resolve this particular one that says villain is now vulnerable to damage, then the villain is vulnerable to damage. Only after resolving 2 missions, the heroes can attack the villain directly. So, who I am attacking here is a henchman, but we can't attack Sabretooth until I've completed either this or 2 missions. So we're just here to attack the henchman and move. He's going to be following us around, fucking with us. All right. Heroic action, which is this yellow. Oh, I should have showed you what attack looked like. This is attack. That's attack. That's your attack icon. Whenever you see that on a hero card, that's what that is. This is heroic action token. All right, heroic action is, this can be used to do one of two things. One, rescue one civilian in the active hero's location. Well, it would be wherever civilians are. I can't do that here because there aren't any. So you can rescue one civilian in the active hero's location. See rescue civilians on page 9 to learn what to do with rescued civilians. Okay, rescue civilians on page 9 says endangered civilians are always in need of rescuing. If a location can't hold any more of them, the villain's overflow effect is triggered. See overflow on page 6. Whenever a villain is rescued, see heroic action on page 8, take its token and place it on an empty slot of the rescue civilian's mission card, if possible, otherwise discard it. Okay. All right. So there was that. And the second thing you can do for a heroic action is you can place a heroic action token on an empty slot of the threat card in the active hero's location in order to clear that threat. Okay, so when it's my turn, I can go. If I have a heroic action on my card, I can put a heroic action token on an empty slot of the threat card in the active hero's location in order to clear that threat. But you have to have 3 in order to clear that threat. Then afterwards it'll say, we're not there yet, but it says end of turn, you may discard 1 card from your hand to the bottom of your deck to swap a card from your hand with one of your face-up cards in the storyline. So that's kind of like a reward action you can do. Make it a little bit easier for yourself or your teammates or whatever. Okay, so those are the 2 things you can do with the heroic action. You can rescue a civilian, or you can place a heroic action token on the threat card at the current location. The wild token, whatever. This can be used to perform either a move, attack, or heroic action. Special effect. Special effect. In each hero deck, there are a few cards with a special effect described in a box above the regular action symbol. The active hero may apply the listed effect before or after any other of their actions. Remember that these special effects cannot be performed by other heroes. Okay. So, action tokens. If the active hero has any action tokens in their possession, move, attack, heroic, action, or wild, they may spend them at any point during this step to perform the corresponding action. So if you have action tokens, that's during your resolve actions phase that you can spend them. Note that when a hero gets an action token, they may hold on to them and spend them during any future turn. Okay, and number 4 in hero turn is location effect. So this is the whole next thing. If the location where the active hero ends their turn has no threat card on it, the player may choose to apply the end of turn effect detailed at the bottom of the location. That was what I was just reading there underneath it. Each turn, a hero can only use a single location effect. Okay, turn sequence. Once the active player has completed all the steps of their turn, the next player in clockwise order becomes the active player, performing their turn. Each time 3 hero cards have been added to the storyline, a new master plan card is drawn from the deck, added to the end of the storyline, and resolved. See villain turn on page 5. The next player then takes their turn. Okay. So this is really a cooperative game. If you're playing with other people, no one actually plays as the villain. We're all working together to fight against the villain. And, whoever knows how to play the game can mess with it or whatever. Be the game master, you know what I mean? But you could really be the game master and play a player hero, play as a player. Well, I don't know. It's not in the instructions as far as I know just yet, so I'm just saying I could see myself juggling that real easy, but it doesn't say that you can do that just yet. So don't listen to me. All right. But listen to me when I say. Each time 3 hero cards have been added to the storyline, a new master plan card is drawn from the deck. Yeah, we already read that. All right. Under pressure. Play continues in this fashion until the players complete their first mission. See completing missions on page 10. We're not quite there yet. At which point the villain becomes under pressure and starts adding a master plan card to the storyline after every 2 hero cards. The game proceeds this way until either the heroes defeat the villain or the villain completes their master plan. All right, so one more time. Under pressure, play continues in this fashion until all the players complete their first mission. When your first mission gets completed, that's when it turns over to master plan every 2 turns instead of 3. Okay. All right, so then we go to missions, which we were just reading from that for the, this is on page 9 from the last page. Missions. Completing missions is a crucial step in the hero's road to victory. Every game has 3 missions available for the heroes to tackle. They can be completed in any order. And then it lists the 3 regular missions in this one, which are rescue civilians, defeat thugs, and clear threats. And they all have those descriptions that I already read. Afterwards, it says, when it comes to clearing them, okay, it's after clearing threats. After clearing threats, it says, when it comes to clearing them, threats are divided into 2 basic types. Oh, dude, I didn't even finish that part. I didn't even finish that. Okay, we're going to go back to clearing threats. That's this. Clear threats is this mission right here. And these are your threat tokens, remember? Clear threats. The threat cards that the villain places on the locations covering their end of turn effect may have all sorts of different effects. From constant effects that at that location or the entire game to effects triggered by a master plan's BAM. See activate BAM on page 6. To effects triggered by the villain's presence. See move villain on page 5. When it comes to clearing them, threats are divided into 2 basic types, henchmen or other. Henchmen, to clear this threat, heroes must defeat them, removing all of their health tokens. See attack on page 8. For the other threats are usually cleared by placing 3 heroic action tokens on its slot. See heroic action on page 8. Note that some threats may display other quantities and types of actions that must be spent. Once a threat has been cleared, Remove its card, returning any tokens on it to the pool. The threat has no effect anymore, and its location's end of turn effect can now be used by the heroes. Take the threat token located next to it and place it on an empty slot in the Clear Threats mission card, if possible. Otherwise, discard it. Important! If a threat card moves, its threat token moves with it. Okay. If a threat card has no threat token next to it, usually because it was brought back into play, when cleared, simply take any available threat token to place on the mission card if possible. Available threat token. Well, there's only 6. They didn't give me more than 6 threat tokens. But when I get all of my Kickstarter exclusives, I might have more. Okay. Note, after their respective missions have been completed, rescuing civilians, defeating thugs, and clearing threats does not advance the game. However, doing so still helps the players avoid overflow effects and gain benefits from more locations. Yes, so that's about the missions. Once the missions are completed, clearing those and those don't really progress the game anymore. It's really just to get your missions cleared, and then you can attack your villain, and that's what you want to do. Okay, completing missions. Remember that missions can be completed in any order. Once all the slots on a mission card are filled, the mission is complete. Remove its card from the game, returning its tokens to the pool. If necessary, move the remaining missions to the right so that the leftmost slots are left empty, unlocking the effects listed above them. Oh. I got it. Okay, so whenever you complete one, whichever one you complete, even if I complete this one first, you remove this, all these slide to the left. So that's that one that's unlocked, and you get that. You see? And that's why this says that there. So that's not, you can't actually get that done in one turn. That was one thing I was mistaken about. You cannot. I was mistaken. I'm sorry. I'm learning this myself. We'll get there together. All right. No. Move the remaining missions to the right. I did that backwards. They moved to the right instead of the left. So it'll be this one that unlocks first, then that one, then that. Villain acts after every 2 hero cards. Yeah, okay. So then that makes sense because that's what they were telling me then. It's not just something that happens in the game, it's because you unlocked it. Yet it is something that just happens in the game. Well, that's these missions, right? Or that's the villain tracker or the villain fucking dashboard that came with this game. I wonder if there's a different one in every expansion. I don't know. All right. So, next part says once the first mission is complete, the villain becomes under pressure and starts playing master plan cards after every 2 hero cards instead of after every 3 cards. Once the second mission is complete, the heroes are able to damage the villain directly. See attack on page 8. Once all health tokens are removed from the villain dashboard, the villain is defeated and the heroes win the game. Players don't have to complete the third mission, but doing so allows all heroes to immediately draw 1 card from their deck into their hand. You don't have to complete the third mission. If after completing the second mission and you are able to attack the villain directly and you defeat the villain before you finish the third mission, then you still win. You don't have to finish the third mission. But you cannot attack your villain until you have finished your second mission. And he is going to be under pressure after your first mission is completed. All right. Special mission, use Cerebro. So this is just for when you have Magneto as your villain. Special mission, use Cerebro. Use Cerebro is a special mission that replaces rescue civilians. Okay. When using Magneto as the villain. To complete this mission, a hero must use both a heroic and a move action in the same turn to place a pair of tokens. All right, I'm going to show you what it looks like because that makes it a lot easier to understand. There you see it is a pair of tokens. You have to play 1 heroic action and 1 move, or 1 heroic action token and 1 move token in the same turn. You have to place them. Alright, to complete this mission, the hero must use both a heroic and a move action in the same turn. Okay, it can be just from your hero cards or whatever. Or from your tokens that you have stashed or whatever. But when you use that, you put tokens on it to represent that it's been activated or whatever. Alright. To complete this mission, a hero must use both a heroic and a move action in the same turn to place a pair of tokens from the pool on the card. These actions are spent to add the tokens to the mission and do not allow the hero to move and or perform a heroic action. Once 3 pairs of tokens are added, the mission is complete. There's only 3 pairs of tokens, you see. Alright, so that's how that one is. That would be in place of rescue civilians if we were working against Magneto, but we're not. Alright, and then it goes to hero damage, which we've already read, and then it goes to the next page, which is challenges. We're on the last page, other than the solo rules. Alright, challenges. The basic game is designed to introduce the game to new players and provide a reasonable challenge for families. Players can add challenges to the game in order to up the difficulty and introduce new twists. There are 3 challenges included in this set. Other expansions will provide players with additional challenges that they can freely add and combine. Challenge cards are provided to help players easily choose and remember the challenges in play. Moderate challenge, each hero removes 1 wild card from their hero deck. Or no, one wild card. This challenge is recommended as soon as players get familiar with the basic game. Hard challenge, each hero removes one double wild card from their hero deck. This is recommended for players already familiar with cooperative games or once they've mastered the previous challenge. Heroic challenge is each hero removes both one wild and one wild card from their hero deck. This is recommended for expert gamers that are used to challenging cooperative games or once they've mastered the previous challenges. Now, under additional rules, the first thing is anti-heroes. The purple-colored character pieces represent anti-heroes, which are these guys. Mystique and Magneto in this set are the two. These characters have both a hero deck and a villain dashboard, threat cards, and master plan deck. They can each be chosen as either a hero or a villain in any game, but not both roles at the same time. So it's not too incredibly difficult. It's a pretty simple game once you know what you're doing. But you got to take the time to go through all that stuff in the first place. Villain delayed / accelerated, and that's these tokens that look like friggin' that is. I'd say that's probably accelerated, and that is delayed. Some game effects will delay or accelerate the next villain turn. This means the villain will play their next master plan card either one card later or earlier than they would normally. If the villain is delayed, place a token on its green delayed side on top of the master plan deck as a reminder. If the villain is accelerated, place a token on its orange accelerated side at the end of the storyline. Okay, if it is green, it goes on its green side on top of the master plan deck. If it is red side, if the villain is delayed, place a token on its green delayed side on top of master plan deck as a reminder. If the villain is accelerated, place a token on its orange accelerated side. Oh, okay. So red is accelerated, green is delayed. But it's going clockwise is why. I think these are backwards. Alright, if the villain is accelerated, place a token on its orange accelerated side at the end of the storyline. Wherever the storyline is. If I play a hero card, this will go here at the end of the storyline. Right? So that's what that's about. Discard the token once the next master plan card is played. If the villain is ever both accelerated and delayed, just discard both tokens. So they cancel each other out. Invulnerable, which looks like that right there. See, it's a little man in there. It's not a tribal C. That's a little man in there. He's invulnerable. That's what that is. Invulnerability. Invulnerable. If a hero card states the hero cannot take any damage until their next turn, place an invulnerable token on the hero as a reminder. Removing it at the start of their next turn. An invulnerable hero can still volunteer or be chosen to take damage in order to satisfy a special effect, though they still ignore the damage. Ah, they can choose to take the damage even though they still ignore the damage. So one more time, if a hero card states the hero cannot take any damage until their next turn, place an invulnerable token on the hero as a reminder, removing it at the start of their next turn. An invulnerable hero can still volunteer or be chosen to take damage in order to satisfy a special effect, though they still ignore the damage. Alright. Next token is the Crisis token. The Crisis token. Crisis tokens are used by certain villains to represent their various nefarious influences. Simply use them as described by the text on the cards and dashboards. Some of them will tell players how Crisis enters play, and others what adverse effect it causes. And then after that, it says unlimited tokens. The supply of tokens is considered to be unlimited. If for any reason a specific token runs out, players may use anything as replacements. Okay. So all of your tokens are considered to be infinite. It's just that they're not actually infinite. Because that costs money, right? That costs an infinite amount of money. Breaking ties. If there are ever events or effects whose conditions are tied, the players decide how they should be resolved. And that's all it says. The players decide. So you'll probably have to flip a coin or vote or come to a verdict somehow. All right, and those are all of the instructions for the base game, for the regular mode. We're going to skip the super villain mode right now, and we'll skip over to Xavier solo mode. All right, I'm going to start from the top again. Even though it goes through setup, I'll tell you what setup is, and we'll go all the way through everything. Won't take long. It's only half a page. All right, Xavier solo mode. Marvel United may also be played by a single player. In this special mode, you act as Xavier, coordinating the efforts of multiple heroes at once. The solo mode uses all the same rules as the regular game, with the following exceptions. In special setup, choose 3 heroes and shuffle their decks together to create your hero deck. The different card backs do not affect the game. The player can use this information to their advantage. If you wish to do so, you may only add challenges that support single-player games. During setup, draw 5 cards into your hand instead of 3, making sure any starting hand cards are in your hand. Set the villain's health at the 3 heroes level. Okay, and we did all that. Special rules. Turns are resolved in the usual sequence. With you playing everything, I'm going to say that again. Turns are resolved in the usual sequence, with you playing every hero turn. Turns are resolved in the usual sequence, with you playing every hero turn. Each turn, you may play the card of any hero in your hand, even if it's the same hero as the last card played. You always benefit, as usual, from the symbols on the previously played card, but not from their special effect, even if it's the same hero. The hero whose card you played is considered the active hero that turn. So whoever's card you played is the active hero that turn when you're playing solo mode. It's about to be a whole bunch of Wolverine and Cyclops. Any effect that refers to another player refers to you. I am all the players. Any effect that refers to you refers to the specific hero in question. Yeah, because I am playing all the heroes, so that's that hero. Well, it's as if I am 3 players, but no, I'm not. I'm 1 player. Xavier is playing 3 characters. All right. Anyway, any effect that refers to you refers to the specific hero in question, except when concerning your tokens or your hand of cards, which belong to the player. Action tokens in your possession can be used by any hero. Okay. So I am just 1 player that accumulates a collection of these tokens. What about the thing on the back of this? Special setup that said heroes. Oh, that's supervillain. Heroes starting tokens with a supervillain. That's he is a supervillain, right? Yeah. Red ones are supervillains. Anti-heroes are purple. I don't know. Whatever. All right. And the rest of the solo rules. All right. Where were we? Any effect that refers to you refers to the specific hero in question, except when concerning your tokens or your hand of cards, which belong to the player. Action tokens in your possession can be used by any hero. If the 3rd mission is complete, you draw 3 cards, 1 for each hero. When taking damage, you may discard any card from your hand, even if it doesn't belong to the hero that took the damage. If multiple heroes take damage at once, discard 1 card per damage. If you are ever KO'd, you immediately lose. Difficulty setting. You can make the game easier by allowing 1 or 2 extra KOs before defeat. When KO'd, lay down all the hero game pieces and resolve a single villain BAM at the start of your next turn. Wait, okay. Let me read that again. When KO'd, lay down all the hero game pieces and resolve a single villain BAM at the start of your next turn. Place all the hero pieces back upright. Alright, I fucking don't pay attention to punctuation sometimes. Let me read that over again. When KO'd, lay down all the hero game pieces and resolve a single villain BAM. At the start of your next turn, place all the hero pieces back upright. During the draw cards step, draw up to 6 cards from your deck. During the draw cards step, draw up to 6 cards from your deck. So it's about to get huge, but I started with 5. And then got attacked or got fucking bammed and lost 2 damage. But I'm about to draw 6 cards from my deck. But then do I take 3 turns or is it just 1 turn? Yeah. Turns are resolved in the usual sequence with you playing every hero turn. So that means I get to go 3 times. Yet every time I go, it's going to be whatever card I play. And each card pertains to its own specific hero. So, all right. All right. So there's that. I'm going to put the villain dashboard back on there. I wonder what the super villain stuff is. Heroes, starting tokens. What do I do with super villain cards? I don't know what to do with super villain cards and superhero cards. It's probably super villain mode is probably what it is. Right? Yeah, that's where those go. All right, I'm going to read the description of super villain mode. Marvel United may also be played with one player controlling the villain, going against the heroes controlled by the other players. So, by default, this is a cooperative game. All the players play against an NPC villain. However, super villain mode, it may also be played with one player controlling the villain, going against the heroes controlled by all the players, allowing up to 5 players in the game. The villain is bolstered not only by the skill of the player, but also by the supervillain cards with nasty surprises to pull out on the heroes. In order to rise to the challenge, the heroes are given a few starting action tokens, as well as superhero cards with special tricks of their own. Following rules changes are applied when playing in supervillain mode. Yada yada. I'm not going to read that because we're not. But just so you know, that's because of that. That's why I was getting into that shit. Because supervillain, that's what the players would start with. The heroes or whatever. But we're not playing supervillain mode, so we ignore that. I'm not going to do anything with supervillain cards or hero cards. Superhero cards. We don't need to deal with challenge cards either. Or any of that. Alright. And then rule summary on the back cover. 1 villain turn, then 3 clockwise hero turns. Okay, yeah, it's got to go clockwise from the first one, right? It's going to be him, her, him. Okay. 1 villain turn, then 3 counterclockwise hero turns. Continue until first mission is completed. Then 1 villain turn every 2 hero turns. Villain turn. Add 1 master plan card to the storyline. Resolve effects in order from top to bottom. Move clockwise this number of locations. Trigger effect on final location. BAM. Resolve BAM effects on villain dashboard and threat cards. Resolve any special effect on the card. Add the indicated villain, or no, that's thug and civilian tokens on the locations around the villain. Resolve overflow effect on each location where tokens couldn't be added. Okay, and that is a complete villain turn. A hero turn has 4 parts. Hero turn 1, draw a card from your deck into your hand, which we will draw 6. Hero turn, play a card, add it to the storyline. And I will play 3 cards because I'm playing 3 heroes. So I'm going to draw 6, play 3. 3 is resolve actions. In any order, all symbols at the bottom of your card and the previous hero card. Move, to an adjacent location. Attack, deal 1 damage to an enemy at your location, defeat 1 thug, or remove 1 health from a henchman, or remove 1 health from a villain after completing 2 missions. Heroic action, rescue 1 civilian or place 1 heroic action token on the threat at your location. And then wild is resolve any action. After that, it says resolve any special effects on your card. And then it says spend any action tokens to resolve their action. And then number 4 is location effect. You may resolve visible end of turn effects of your location, which is underneath the threat cards, when they are open. Okay. Hero damage. Discard 1 card from your hand to the bottom of your deck per damage suffered. KO'd if you discard the last card in hand. Lay hero down, activate villain's BAM. Next turn, stand back up and draw 4 cards. Okay, winning and losing. Heroes win if they remove all health tokens from villain. Must complete 2 missions first. Heroes lose if villain completes the villainous plot on their dashboard. Villain must play a card, but the master plan deck is empty. Or a hero starts their turn with no cards at all. Villainous plot. The villainous plot was the heroes lose if the hunted token is given back to the starting hero. Okay. When the hunted hero is KO'd, before activating BAM, give the hunted token to the next hero in play order. When a hero without the hunted token is KO'd, draw another master plan card and add it face down on the storyline. So every time I KO someone, I have to remember to look at the special rules over there. Alright. I would like to put this somewhere. Will it prop up right there without falling off my table? Nope. Sure won't. Alright. I'm just going to have to set it over here beside me. Yeah, there you go. It's Marvel United X-Men. Well, that shit. Sweet game, dude. Yeah, so it's relatively simple. Let me finish my water, and we'll get going with this. I'm going to go through the hero turns. Okay. All red. So, one quick recap. Sabretooth started here. He came all the way around here. Did some shit. I don't even remember now. No, here's what he did. He moved all the way around to there. Then he did the BAM, which was deal 2 damage to 1 hero in Sabretooth's location, and it must be the hunted hero if they're in that location. So that was Wolverine that took 2, but it doesn't matter because I'm 1 player. So we took 2 cards out of there, put them on the bottom of the deck. And then I put the that would activate the threat if the threat had that icon, but it doesn't. And I put the thug tokens on the surrounding things, so then it was over. So now we're starting with whatever I lay, I guess. But I've got 3 cards to lay and resolve. First, I have got to get healing factor out there on the board. What it says is, as long as this card is face up in the storyline, if you have less than 3 cards in hand at the end of a villain card, you may draw 1 card. Which reminds me, I need to draw 6 cards at the beginning of my turn, right? So I'll keep that there, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dang, that's a lot. Make sure I know what I have here. Not really much for special instructions. Cyclops has an optic blast. Attack in both adjacent locations. Sweet. Alright. Healing factor is going out there. That's the first thing I'm laying down in the timeline. Let me get these things out of the way. Here, we'll make more room for our timeline. Okay, I'll slide it over. So, bam! There's the first phase of the master plan. Next, I got that out there. As long as this card is face up in the storyline, if you have less than 3 cards in hand at the end of a villain turn, you may draw 1 card. But it's not going to happen until after these guys. If I'm ever low. But I don't think I'm going to be. I'm going to be drawing more than I play. I guess the extra cards that you draw are really for damage loss. But there is a heroic action token. And for heroic action, I can put a heroic action token on here. May as well. I can't get it. I can't help any civilians, so I think that's what I'm going to do with him. He's going to do that. Bam. So, drew my card, played a card, resolved the action. There's no location effect. So then it's on to the next hero. Okay. So next... Well, I can play Cyclops. We'll do that one. So 1, he does an optical blast in both adjacent locations. No, special effects come after your action, so I resolve the actions first. He's got his action is on the ribbon there is an attack. So he attacks this thug here. This thug only has 1 health, so when I defeat the thug, it goes here. Right? Defeated that thug. And then we move to special instructions. Attack in both adjacent locations. So I'm going to attack in this location. Pew! Got him. Shot him right out of the jet. Zzz. Shot this guy right out of the jet too. Zzz. Got him. Okay, that one's resolved. We do one more. Oh, friggin' Wolvie can just toss down 2 heroic action tokens on the threat card. Boop, boop. Unlocked. Right. Do I get to keep those? I don't think I keep those. Those go back in the pile. There are 3 of them there. Where does the threat card go? Okay, got 2 questions. 1, where does the threat card go? Clearing threats. Where's clearing threats? Right there. Missions, right? No. Will be clearing threats mission. Or threat cards. Where's the threat card thing? No. Show the lone threat cards, place face up threat token. Yeah. When I win that, then I can put this there, right? Because I eliminated that threat. And it goes that was from there that it was doing that. Okay, clear threats. The threat cards that the villain places on the locations covering their end of turn effect may have all sorts of different effects, from constant effects at that location or the entire game to effects triggered by a master plan's ban, to effects triggered by the villain's presence. When it comes to clearing them, threats are divided into 2 basic groups: henchmen or other. Other threats are usually cleared by placing 3 heroic action tokens on its slot. See heroic action on page 8. Okay, heroic action. I'll read that in a moment. Note that some threats may display other quantities and types of actions that must be spent. Once a threat has been cleared, remove its card, returning any tokens on it to the pool. The threat has no effect anymore, and its location's end of turn effect can now be used by the heroes. Take the threat token located next to it and place it in an empty slot of the Clear Threats mission card, if possible, otherwise discard it. Okay. Alright. So it doesn't say anything about that, so I'm just going to place that face down over here. That's a burnt threat card. So now what this says is you may discard 1 card from your hand to the bottom of your deck to swap a card from your hand with one of your face-up cards in the storyline. Oh, you know what? I fucked that all up. Because Cyclops was going to do a heroic action. Fuck, I gotta spin that back. Fucking shit. Alright, this is my first game. I can do this. I'm learning. Oh, fuck. Knock that over. Alright, so the first one was on there, right? I'm going to put this back in my hand and act as if this hasn't happened, right? So when he does that, he can also do one of these. So put that down. Heroic action, right? He's already destroyed this guy and this guy and this guy. Wait, here, let me put that back. Okay. And Cyclops also put 1 heroic action token on there. Now, I think instead of playing that card, why don't I play Storm? Storm, well, she can't really use the attack right now because there's no thug there. So I'm just going to give her 1 star there. But that's going to reserve one for later. All right. So then that happens again.
Starting there, guide for Caltrox window. Home. Press the view button to share last capture. Press the menu button for more options. Button. Homeland.
Stop.
1 of 6.
What the hell was that? Xbox is possessed, you guys. It just started talking to me. Suck my ass. And guess what? Here's my Xbox remote.
Dialog. Turn.
All right. It's been 2 hours and 40 minutes. So, and that's just getting started. All right. So, now, that was completed. Toss those back in the pile. Damn it. All right, whatever. That goes there. Done. Then, it's time for a master plan card. Right? Bam. I might have to move all this stuff. What it says is, move to the next clockwise location with any heroes. There he is. Bam! Alright. Deal 2 damage to 1 hero in Sabretooth's location. This must be the hunted hero if they're in that location. Of course they are. I'm 1 player. Alright, what do I want to get rid of? Well, must say Cyclops has a 1 move action. And well, that one is 1 move, but there's also 2 attacks, so I want to keep that. But Storm has a 1 move action, so I'm going to get rid of hers. I'm sorry, Storm. I didn't have any of your really good cards. Sorry, Storm fans. Okay, so that is my 2 damage that is going underneath the deck. Alright, activated BAM, and then I'm putting civilians. That's what it shows. Here, I'll show it to you. There you see. Civilian tokens on each of the others. I'm going to move these over. Conserve some space here. Maybe I can fit another card in the end. Alright. Civilian tokens. Go over here, and it says activate overflow if need be. 2 civilian tokens go over here. Activate overflow. All right. And that is the end of Sabretooth's turn. Then it's the heroes' turns. I believe it can happen in any order. All right. First thing I'm going to play. Wolverine right here. He's going to move and attack. Ready? He goes. Move. To here. He's got the target. He hasn't been KO'd yet. They will all get KO'd together is what the way that works, but whatever. So there's Wolverine in this location now. And it's going to attack the thug. So put the thug over here. All right. That's resolving the first hero turn. Second hero turn, I would like to play another. Oh no! Wait. Not only that stuff, but he can also do the last hero card's ribbon actions, right? So we put one of those on here. Actually, instead of that, we would like to save one civilian. Let's do that instead. Save one civilian. Soup. That was that heroic action from Storm's card. Okay, now I play another one, which will be this here. When I do that, I can know 2 heroic actions, which will be to save both of these civilians. I can also move and attack. Although he moves here, there's nothing to attack there. He moved over here. That's my second one. And I'm going to do this so that Wolverine moves again. He's going to move over here this time. While he's over there, he can do 2 attacks, which will kill both of these thugs. And he can use the actions from the ribbon on the card before that. So he's got 2 heroic actions, which I believe I want to save 2 more civilians. And there's only 1 civilian left on that card now. Okay, put this in the right spot here. Okay. That's 3. Did I draw 6 that first one? I don't think I did. Run back the video, you guys. I believe I was supposed to draw right there. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Some better Storm cards. Alright. But we'll just play it the way it was. So there we are. Right? And now it's time for another Master Plan card in the storyline. This is where I'm going to move all that stuff and move these up. Okay. That's my hand here. I'm going to move these. So we're getting there, ladies and gents. Probably once I now that I'm rolling, it'll probably take like 5 or 10 minutes and I'll have the whole thing done. Yeah, about 5, 10, 15 minutes of game time. But there's setting up and learning and talking and moving shit around. All those tokens over there now. Okay. So then I'll at least have some space here, right? I'm going to start over after that one, too. I'm going to start over here. I haven't finished any of those yet, so doing good. All right, master plan card. It says, hunter senses move to the location where the hunted hero. Then there's a BAM, and then I add civilians to each adjacent location. All right, move to the location with the hunted hero. So this guy moves here. Sabretooth is over here. And they're fucking fighting. We're fighting. All right. He moved to the location with the hunted hero, and then activate BAM, which is 2 damage. Take 2 cards out of here. One move for him, but I kind of want that because he might need to evade real quick. Well, could toss a Cyclops card. He's got a double wild card, and he's got a double attack card, and he's got a double heroic action card. But a double wild card can do either of those, or a mix of the two, right? I'll get rid of the attack card. Heroic actions have 2 different functions. What else do I want to do? Get rid of that Wolverine card. Let's get rid of that Wolverine card. Got a double wild Wolverine card, and I've got a Wolverine move card. That is all. Other than that. So, it'll be those 2. Those 2 are my cards that I just gave up for health damage. Right. Now, so that was the BAM. Then I add 2 civilians to each adjacent location. Which means this one and this one and that's done. Now it's the hero's turn, and I begin my turn by drawing 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Holy shit, that's a lot of stuff. Don't forget to put Sabretooth's health back on there. I guess I don't know what this is for. I'm sorry, but I don't. All right. So I got my cards. What I want to do is now, whatever I lay, they will also get a move action. Well, well. All right. I'm going to lay this Cyclops card. So he's got 2 heroic actions and 1 move, right? So I'm going to go remove these civilians and move. Those were his heroic actions. Yeah. We got those. Um, move. Okay. An adjacent location in any direction. All right. Well, I'm gonna play this Storm card, and she's got 1 move and 3 heroic actions. So she's going to move here, and all 3 heroic actions will go on the card. I guess I don't have to put them all on there if I'm just going to take it off of there, right? Which will complete that threat. That threat goes here. This goes here. And now I've got 1 more thingy to play. Why not? I do. She's got 1 move there. This. Move twice. And attack. Shouldn't have a reason to attack over there, though. Guess I can bank that. If you have 1 you didn't use, you can put it in your. Can you put it in your? Can you take a token and put it in? Yeah, I think you can. Note that when a hero gets an action token, they may hold them and spend them during any future turn. The active player may perform the following actions once per symbol available to them in any order they like. Special effect. In each hero deck, there are a few cards. Special effect. No. I don't know. It doesn't say that you can keep tokens for the things you don't use. It doesn't say that. But I found that there was a card that does say something about a token. Like this one right here, this little Cyclops card right here. It says give one wild token from the pool to another hero. So that's when tokens actually come up. When it says to give one token from the pool, that's when you would. But me being all three heroes, I would get it myself. Kind of like that idea. If he does that, he will move twice. He will have heroic action. He will have a wild token in his possession. I like that idea. All right. So for my for my third hero action, I'm going to play that one there. So he will give that to. I have to pick one, don't I? He will give that to Wolverine. Wolverine owns that token. We'll put that token on Wolverine as well. And he can move. Oh, I was supposed to move first, right? Say move one, and then plus he gets the move here. So he moves here. And he's got one heroic action. I think instead of putting it on there, he's going to rescue this civilian. Closer to getting that popped open. Okay. That ends my player turn. Then it's time for another master plan action. Let me move my deck. Put that there. The master plan actions will go over here. Let me pick one more master plan action. That's going to go right here. Hunter senses again. Move to the location with the hunted hero. He's already there. Then activate BAM and 2 thugs in each adjacent location. This one is no place to hide again. There's no threat activation or whatever. Okay. So he's already there. Activate BAM, which means I do 2. He does 2 damage to Wolverine. We're gonna hang on to that. Going over my cards, making sure I know what I have. Trying to figure out what I want to discard. We'll get rid of that one. It's just a 1 move action. I don't know. I'm going to keep my move actions. That's kind of... Yeah. Let's get rid of this storm action. It's a heroic and an attack. Well, if I do that, how many attacks do I have? I've got... Well, Wolverine has attacks and wilds. So she doesn't really need to be the one doing the attacking because he's always going to be where Sabretooth is because Sabretooth comes and finds him. So those two will be my discards. Those go on the bottom of the deck. Doink. All right. Then, bam, activated. Now I put 2 thugs on each adjacent location. Am I supposed to not put thugs on there anymore? The threat has no effect anymore, and its location's end of turn effect can now be used by the heroes. Take the threat token located by the heroes. End of turn. You may discard 1 card from your hand to the bottom of your deck to swap a card from your hand with one of your face-up cards in the storyline. I may want to consider that because Cyclops landed there once on his way over. Oh no, but he didn't end there, right? He didn't end there. End of turn is when that comes up. Well, that's not there. Okay. Yeah. Put the thug tokens on and you're good to go. Oops. 2 thug tokens there. 2 thug tokens over here. Very good. Begin the hero turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dang, Wolverine's got fighting power. Okay. Going to do this card. That's 2 attacks for Storm, but she also gets this move over here, so she's going to move to here. Do 2 attacks there. She's going to clear both of those thugs. Getting close. Can feel it. So she moved and did 2 attacks. And she ends her turn there. You may discard 1 card from your hand. Or is that just me? I end my turn with any heroes on that space? Is that what that is? You may discard one card from your hand to the bottom of your deck. To swap a card, okay, you take one card from here to the bottom of your deck. To swap a card from your hand with one of your face-up cards in the storyline. So you throw one away, which will come back again because it's there to switch something out here. I will switch out Cyclops with one attack for the Cyclops with 2 heroic actions. No, that goes under here. No, it's to switch out. So I'm going to do that switch out, and I have to burn one in order to do that, right? I will burn. No, that don't make sense. Because then what I want to get rid of is another Cyclops card with 2 heroic actions. I could do Wolverine. We'll burn that one. So move into heroic action. That's going to go under the deck. There. The pot is right. Very good. I bought some of these at the cider mill. Been munching on them all day. So that was one hero. Now, my next hero well, all right. Next, I'm going to play this Wolverine card. It's a double wild Wolverine card. For his first action, he's going to move to here. All his shit. Now he's got 1 wild left over, and he's got 2 attacks from Storm's thingy. So he's going to use his 2 attacks for the thugs, which will finish that mission. Defeat thugs is over. I'll remove this. That's going to go over here. Whoop. Okay, that one's done. Let's toss that in here. Move all these right. Now, the villain acts after every 2 hero cards, right? Is that what that's for? So we know it's unlocked? I don't know. We know where we are. Villain acts after every 2 hero cards, right? Which means he's going to go next. But Wolverine still has a wild from the card, and he still has a wild token. So, the wild from the card he's going to use for heroic action to save a civilian. So that completes this one. All those civilian tokens. Go back over here. This goes here. This slides over. And now the villain is vulnerable to damage. Grand. However, it's his turn to act. So, before I do that, I'm going to take these all. Slide them on top of each other. Swoop. 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 I'm going to condense a bit. That, and then I'll just put these up here. Well, this one's over. It's been used. So now I've got this, and it will be a villain master plan card. Will be next. Ta-da! Move 0 spaces. Regenerative factor. As long as this card is face up in the storyline, Sabretooth recovers 1 health at the end of his turns. Can't go above his starting value. Recovers 1 health at the end of his turns. He doesn't move anywhere, so I don't get to activate any threat. But he moves 0 spaces and lands here. When he lands here, it would activate the BAM or the threat, right? Villain turn. What was the part where I was like, even if it is 0? Move villain. Move the villain clockwise unless otherwise indicated. The number of locations equal to the number shown on the card. If there is a threat card with the threat symbol on the location where the villain ends their movement, even if the movement was 0, immediately resolve the effect described on that threat card. But it doesn't have that. It doesn't have that icon, so it's not going to get that. All right, but I've got to do the thug tokens, right? And as long as that's up, at the end of Sabretooth's turns, he regenerates 1 health. And that's happening after every 2 heroes now. Alright, so he puts 1 thug there, 1 thug there, and 1 thug there. Right, that's what that one looks like. Okay, Good, and he is vulnerable too. So, I believe... Oh, Cyclope. It's my head. Alright. I am going to play a Cyclops card. It is double wild. So he's got double wild plus double wild. And I believe what he wants to do... Well, he's going to defeat the thug. Well, they don't need to be defeated, do they? Let's fuck that. Hang on. Thugs need to be defeated before you get to the villain. Add thug civilians. Add the indicated number of thug and or civilian tokens to the villain's location and those around it. The central location on the card represents where the villain is, with the two adjacent locations to either side. Go in clockwise order, adding the tokens to the locations. At each location, place the required thug tokens, then the required civilian tokens. At each location, if there are not enough empty slots available, an overflow effect is generated. Overflow. Whenever one or more thug civilian tokens can't be added to a location, a single overflow effect is triggered at that location. Check the effect's description on the villain dashboard and resolve any triggered overflows in clockwise order. Overflow says, if one or more thug/civilian tokens can't be added to a location, deal 1 damage to the hunted hero. Oh, I didn't know that part. Oh, he's supposed to have more damage than that now. Ah, oh, shit. Shit. Well, in that case, do I stop the recording and roll back the video so I can find out how much fucking damage I gotta do to that guy? But yeah, Sabretooth has special instructions for overflow, and I forgot that part. So how many times did I have overflow? It's only 1 damage, right? If 1 or more tokens can't be added to a location, if 1 or more tokens can't be added to a location, deal 1 damage to the hunted hero. So that's whenever there is overflow, and this is the second time this one had overflow. So that's 2 here plus 1 over here. Which isn't going to be that right, because the difficulties that it would create have been surpassed. But this is learning. So. Let us get rid of that one. Yeah, get rid of that one. Dude, I gotta get rid of that one too. Man. Alright. Did I draw 6 this time? I don't think I did. A little bit of a mess the first time. I don't think I did draw 6. But these need to go on the bottom of the deck. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is what I have left. I don't remember. Damn it. I don't remember. Did I draw 6 this time around? I think I did because I was down to 3, right? And now I just discarded 3. I've got 6 left. I don't know. I'm getting tired. I'm about to fall asleep, you guys. I'm sorry. All right. Let's just get this moving on, right? So I did the damage to Wolverine for overflow. Next, he did his thing over there. I should work on Cyclops maybe, or wait. What did he just do? He hasn't done his actions yet. Has he? I don't think his actions have been resolved. Because one thing I wanted to do, yeah, I was wondering about the thug, and that's what got me off on the, yeah, on the tangent. All right, so he's got 4 actions to do, all of them wild. So what I want to do, since good old Sabretooth is vulnerable now, and I don't think thugs are necessary to clear now that the missions are done. I guess it's just to attack Sabretooth. Right? So I'll do 4 damage to Sabretooth. Boosh, boosh. Boosh, boosh. Knocking him down. Next, I want... Well, the only other Cyclops card that I have has one hero action. And then for the special instructions, it says give one wild token from the pool to another hero. Did I use that wild token over there? I think I did. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. I think I would have moved it if I used it. Maybe not. Who knows? I fucking forget things sometimes. Yeah. Yeah. Here we go. All right, next one in the storyline will be this here. So Wolverine will have 1, 2, 3 wilds and 2 attacks, right? So for 1 wild, he's going to move back over here. And with him comes his token set. That was 1 wild out of 3. So for the other 2, he's going to attack. Plus he's got 2 attacks. So that's 4 attacks. That's going to take 1, 2, 3 off of there. And he's got 1 more attack to do. So we just defeated him. I think that's how we have to do that. And then when the villain is defeated. Heroes win if they defeat the villain. To be able to damage the villain, heroes must first accomplish at least 2 of the 3 available missions. Dashboard on the slot of the mission ground. If the villain dashboard has a track, place the villain tracker with 0 space. I see. That's what this tracker is for the villain track, if there is a track here for the villain. There's not a track. So I definitely won. I just don't know, is there anything... Oh, okay. In a 4-hero game, Sabretooth starts with a pile of 10 health tokens. Right. Well, when you get down to the last token, you take the last token from him. Is he then defeated? Or is there something else that has to happen, like a KO? Because the heroes have a KO that happens there. I guess I won. I beat Sabretooth, you guys. That one was pretty easy. Especially since I had the power of 3 people. Well, there you go, guys. That was my first run with the solo mode, the Xavier solo mode of Marvel United X-Men. So, even with this very same set, there are more options for, different stories and stuff, different villains, so on and so forth. I've got 3 more villains and 2 more heroes. Let's see, first of all, we've got Juggernaut as a villain. Got Magneto as a villain. And I got Mystique as a villain. All right. So those are my four villains right now. So that's four different possible, villain tracks or villain dashboards or whatever. Then we have Beastman and Jean Grey. Are my other heroes. And these can also be heroes, you see. Oops. So, there we are. Hooray! I win. Do I win a prize, you guys? Thank you for watching. This has been Marvel United X-Men. Ta-da! It's a shadow. You can't even see that. All right. See you later. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.